Hello, I'm Chris Arnstead. I volunteer here at the Waskesiu Heritage Museum, and joining me today is Verb Weinraw. We're going to talk about the Twin Pines Theatres in Waskesiu and this projector which he has recently donated to the museum.
There's three main components to this projector. I guess we'll start with the top and the bottom here are where your film. These are what they call 2,000-foot reels, and there was generally 6 of these in a complete movie. A full reel here would hold 2,000 feet of film, and it would go through the projector from the top through here, and this one would pick it up. So there's the three main components of the projection system would be the actual projector head. There's a bit of this is threaded, almost like a sewing machine, so to speak. There's a bit of slack on the top here, so that it doesn't pull tight. So there's a bit of room for it to have a little slack. And this film actually goes upside down through the projection head because there's a big mirror behind a light here. So when it's projected on the screen, it comes back right side up on the screen. And from time to time, if we did it wrong, you would have an upside down picture on the screen. And so this, the actual film is, the light shoots right through here, and there's a lens in the front here which projects onto your screen. So the actual projector head is right here, and then this part here, there's a little light source that shoots onto the film, and there's 2 really thin lines on here that have the sound track, and that light produces the sound and runs to your audio system. So the 3 components are the projector head here, the sound head here, and this part here is what they call a lamp house, so it holds the light. This is the original one from back in the day in the 50s, and it's really almost a welder with a light in it. Okay, so how the original lamppost worked back in the day was this was virtually a welder with a mirror behind it, as I was saying earlier. So what we had to do back then was this one here was it's called a positive rod. There's a positive rod and there's also a smaller negative rod back here. And this one burns at a much faster rate. And so after about 3 reels, you would have to change rods. So we'd put a newer one in, and we'd have to slide that into place for the next show. And then, before we started this, before we started up for the next reel, you would basically have to strike it just like a welding rod. So that would strike, and you'd pull that back a little bit. Anybody that's around a welder knows that you strike it, and then you're about a quarter to a half an inch away from what you're welding. The same principle worked here. And then as this started to burn down, there's a little motor that would keep moving this forward so that the light would be constant. The problem was sometimes the rods burnt at different rates. Some would burn faster than others, so you would constantly be adjusting this during the show to make sure that it didn't get too far apart, because if it did, the light would go out.
Well, this has been a fascinating tour of this old equipment, and it was most entertaining to listen to you talk about your experiences in the theatre, Merv. Thanks very much for your time this afternoon.
All right.